Comic books cometh to life. DC Studios Superman. It's time to talk about it. Let's go. What's going on, everyone? Clep Napier from wearecritics.com, and today we're here to talk about, breakdown, and review DC Studios, directed by James Gunn, Superman. That's right, the 2025 reimagining reboot to the DC universe, formerly known as the DCEU, which was once helmed by director Zack Snyder. And now we're here to create a new legacy. Legacy begins, as you guys can see in the background, and yeah, this is a big one. This is one that a lot of people have been anticipating and waiting to talk about. I'm going to get into this spoiler free. I will be doing a full spoiler open discussion this coming Sunday, 5 p.m. on the Screening Room podcast, like we normally do. But without further ado, let's get into Superman and what I thought. But in good fashion, before I talk about what I thought about the film as a whole, let me give you a little gist of my out of the theater reaction that I had posted last night, this morning ish at midnight. They allowed the embargo for social media to lift at midnight, and I just want to give a rundown of what I said so that people don't get it misconstrued, because a lot of people like to think that social reactions, initial reactions, tend to flow a little bit more positive than actual reviews for clickbait purposes, but that's not the case here, ladies and gentlemen. So what I said in my initial reaction was, DC Studio Superman restores hope. It restores hope. Now, I'm going to get into what I mean by how it restores hope for me. All right. James Gunn wastes no time to pretty much drop us in to this more colorful, more emo, comic booky, and familiar story about our titular character, which is, of course, Superman. Everybody knows that. But he still reimagines and reintroduces us to this character in a way that we've never seen him before. That's what I wanted everybody to understand. Also, not only, there are some characters that do or do not work for me and may not work for some of you, but the ones that do, the main ensemble, absolutely shine. Rachel Brosnahan, she is Lois Lane like we've never seen her before in the best possible way. Jimmy Olsen is amazing in this. But Lex Luthor is the absolute brilliance in this film for me. And I feel like he elevates this film in a way where he absolutely showcases the maturity of the material that's going on in this film for me. Yeah, so and David Cornsweet, he is Superman. And we'll get into all of that talk as well. And then I said, it has a bit of a jarring tone shift from what a lot of DC film fans are used to, a la Zack Snyder. But it left me very, very interested in what's to come. I think that they're off to a very interesting start. So that was my initial reaction coming out of the theater when I saw this film. Now, that's and by no means glazing this thing at all. It's simply my experience. So what I wanna put out there before we get into this is that this is my initial reaction, my experience, and I'm not overly excited about this film. It's not a perfect film. I didn't walk out of there extremely wild. I did not hate it. I enjoyed it. I liked it a lot, and I'm interested to see what happens next. So everything here is just basically what I think a lot of folks will have issues with. And then I'm going to give you my overall experience and what I thought about it. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, what did I think about Superman by DC Studios, James Gunn? All right, let's talk about the plot a little bit. James Gunn, like I said, he drops you right into this, ladies and gentlemen. This takes place exactly 3 years in that Clark is known as the man called Superman. And he is up against his greatest adversary in this film. I won't give any spoilers about all of that. And I thought that this was completely entertaining. Different from what we're used to, in a sense that if you are familiar with the comic book world and the DC comics and the Superman lore, you're kind of just getting in, you're going into it already knowing what's going on. So you watch the thing and you're like, okay, cool. I get it. I grasp everything that's going on. I understand this. I'm completely on board with the fantastical, the weird, the monsters versus gods, the the fantastical technology, the things that's going. You if you don't need any explanation or any backstory about all of that, you're going to be just fine watching this, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to have a great time with this. Now, there are some moments that feel very comic booky, and what I mean by that, it gets a little silly, and it gets a little funny, but that's that's part of entertaining. That's part of entertainment. It might pull some people out. It might pull some people out as far as what they're used to for Superman. But I promise you, every storyline, every superhero storyline is only as good as its villain. And Nicholas Holt's Lex Luthor absolutely brings the drama. Like, he brings the stakes, he brings the evil, he brings the diabolical, he brings the fear, the worry, the envy, the treachery, everything. Listen, he's the best Lex Luthor I've ever seen on screen, in a sense where, like, we get a lot of Lex telling us that he's the greatest criminal mind, mastermind ever, or like we allude to knowing that because that's what we've been told. But I feel like this is the first time we really get to see him outsmart people. You know what I mean? Like, he man, listen, he's working, and he's working overtime to make sure that what he set out to do gets done. And you feel that. I felt it a lot. So he, for me, is the strength of this movie. Other things that work in this film, let's talk about other things that work. Rachel Brosnahan really grounds David Corn Sweat's Superman and his Clark. I think that she's needed in this film. She's not just a Lois that is just there to be a love interest. She is there with a purpose. She's there to she elevates the Daily Planet situation. We get to see real journalism. We get to see people figure things out, and there's more to just the heroics and the heroisms of the super people that are involved in this movie that we're going to get into in a little bit. But she's perfect in this. Jimmy Olsen is not just a bumbling sidekick following Lois around. He's really out there trying to earn his keep and stamp his name in the Daily Planet legacy. And he plays a really intricate part in this film as well. I love that about him. In this, everybody else in the Daily Planet, that whole situation for me is awesome. I think the Daily Planet stuff really outshines the heroism stuff. Now let's get into the heroism stuff. Things that were meh to me. Edie Gathigi. I hope I'm saying his name right. I always kind of bumble his name, but the gentleman who plays Mr. Terrific. I was sold that he shines, he steals the show, he does all that, but only, I feel like only because that's the character that they put in that position. I feel like he's great at what he does. He's great bringing what he's bringing. Um, but I didn't know that Robert Downey Jr. was channeling Mr. Terrific when he was playing that character in Tropic Thunder, because every time he's on scene and he's talking and he's portraying this character, he comes off like Robert Downey Jr.'s character in Tropic Thunder. And I know that is weird comparison, but you'll know what I mean when you hear him speak and perform. It's like, wow, he the manner, the voice, like he really, it feels like he's gonna drop a line from Tropic Thunder in any moment. But he's good in this character. But I don't feel like he's doing anything unexpected, because of what his character is there for to do. But I loved him. I thought he was great. I'd like to see more of him, maybe in his own little property. But I think that's probably why. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets something on the side. Let's just say that. Nathan Fillion, he's cool. I, I have this thing where, like, people, like, I don't know what it is about society. It's like they gravitate towards the assholes, like the Stone Cold Steve Austins, The Rock when he was a heel. Like it's cool to be the guy who doesn't give a shit, and that's exactly what you get with this Guy Gardner. He comes in and he's the most Guy Gardner you're ever gonna get. Again, I'm not wowed by characters that are doing what they're supposed to do. They're being who they're supposed to be, and you kind of feel where they're fitting into the narrative. And it's just like, okay, cool, they're doing their thing. It's not that he's bad at it; he's doing his thing. But I'm not gonna celebrate what's already expected. So you get that he does his thing. I'm not gonna say he's a scene stealer or anything of that nature. He's being Guy Gardner in the best possible way, and that's cool for him. Hog Girl, probably the biggest disappointment for me. Um, Sometimes I'm just like, why are you even here? And that's not any problem because of what Isabella's doing or anything like that. It's just it wasn't really a lot for that character to do in this movie. And I feel like she's there as like being a part of the Justice Gang, what they're calling themselves, which is so corny. And I know it's on purpose, and I hope, yeah, I just it just sounds corny every time you hear it. It's just like the Justice Gang. Jesus, eye roll. But she's in this, and I'm still trying to figure out why she's in this. Like it's very it's just a character that's just, it could have been any DC hero at this point. That's how like unused she really comes off to me. Now, overall, I like this movie. It's fun. It's colorful. It is Superman at its finest. You learn a lot of things about Hope and his character, who he is as a human. This is essentially more of a Clark story than a Superman story for me. This is what I see. We're getting to understand the man. This is not year one. This is more like year two, three, as you get in the movie. They kind of allude to the time frame, dropping you right into this. And then between when he knows who he is and what he's there to do, and truth, justice, and all that other stuff. So he's a bit green. So you're gonna get a lot of people talking about how this is a whiny, baby, boyish suit, but it's like, nah, man, this is, it's the next step up from an origin that I think a lot of people are over with. That we don't want to see that no more, most of us. But there are casuals out there that are probably going to be like, well, I wish I would have got a little more backstory. But I'm telling you, for the hardcore comic book fans, there's a lot to take away from. And for the people that are really Snyder supporters, that really want that more serious tone, there's things in there that you can hold on to. I promise you. There might be moments where you're just like, oh, the dog, the dog, but the dog serves a very important purpose. And that leads me to the end of this, where I'm not giving any spoilers. Um, there's some post credit scenes. Eh, stay if you want, if you just want to be in the know and you want to be connected to what's going on. I don't feel like the actual post credit scenes are the main, or the, not the main course, but the appetizer for what's next. You get that more in the film, sort of like in the last act, like the very last moment. You're gonna get the Easter egg that I'm sure a lot of us are probably waiting for or expecting. Nothing too crazy, but worth it for some. Um, but the post credit scenes, like the stuff after the credits and stuff like that, they really don't serve up anything. And that's just me. There's two. There's one mid, cute one, and then the last one that's already leaked online, ladies and gentlemen. So if you want to see it, I'm pretty sure you can just go Twitter that and it'll pop up, because I saw it late last night by accident. But that's literally all I got to say about Superman, ladies and gentlemen. It is a good movie, but not the best superhero movie. I'm ready for what's next. James Gunn has got me salivating. I'm interested. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to rock with this new DC, because I'm a comic book guy and I like Superman, and I want to see. I'm interested to see when like like a Batman comes in the mix, stuff like that. Like, yeah, let me know what you guys think. I know a lot of you are excited about this, and you are probably expecting me to come out and jump out of the screen. But no, I had fun. I love this thing. I'm a superhero guy by nature. It doesn't really matter most of the time who the hero is. I'm all about that superheroism, and I had a good time watching this. I will see it again. Just to kind of like be in that moment. And I love Lex, man. Lex is my guy. Without him, I probably wouldn't even like this movie. Like, comment, share. Make sure you subscribe. And for more movie news, television news, and pop culture, make sure you're checking out wearecritics.com. Tune in next Sunday, where we're going to get spoilerish and talk about this with my man DJ and probably some other folks. And I will talk to you all later. Peace.